Today, we're going to dive into the secret behind building a truly unstoppable online presence, pulling from the book Internet Marketing Magnetism. And I'll give you a hint, it has absolutely nothing to do with algorithms or the latest marketing hacks.
You know the feeling, right? You're putting out great content, you're posting everywhere, you're trying so hard to connect, but it just feels like you're shouting into an empty room. You're doing all the work, but for some reason, nothing's clicking.
Well, it turns out the key to finally breaking through all that noise isn't some secret formula or a trick to game the system. It's actually a deeply human quality that the book calls personal magnetism. And trust me, once you get this, it changes everything about how you show up online.
So what on earth is this personal magnetism? Well, here's the single most important thing you need to understand, and it's kind of the main point of this whole explainer. Real magnetism has nothing to do with you. It's all about them.
The book gives this formal definition, a quality that makes people passionately want to follow you. It's what fuels real, genuine influence, not just a bit of temporary attention. Think of it as creating a pull, not a push.
And this story just nails what that feels like. The author talks about a summer camp manager he once had. See, unlike most people who try to convince you how awesome they are, this guy had a knack for making everyone he met feel like they were the most incredible person on the planet. That right there, that's personal magnetism in action. And here is the absolute best part. This is not some magical power you're either born with or you're not. No way. The book makes it super clear. Personal magnetism is a skill. It's something you can learn, something you can develop, so you can stop saying, that's just not me. All right, so let's get into the first principle. It all kicks off with a major shift in your perspective. You have to change your focal point, away from yourself and on to other people. Now, the book makes a really important distinction here. We're always talking about self-esteem, which is basically how much you respect yourself. But it zeroes in on something different, self-value. That's about how you handle yourself, the actions you actually take to grow and take care of your well-being. And this is where it all comes together in this incredible feedback loop. When you genuinely value other people, when you're hyped about their wins and you see the best in them, it automatically boosts your own self-value. You just feel better, more purposeful. And the flip side is true too. That need to tear someone down, it's a huge red flag for a low sense of self. I mean, think about it. It's pretty much impossible to put someone else down when you're feeling genuinely good about yourself.
Okay, so valuing others is the big picture mindset, but how do we actually bring that into the online world? Well, our second principle is all about building a solid foundation of trust. Because online, trust is everything. It's the currency of connection.
But before we get to the practical, nitty-gritty steps, you have to get the philosophy behind it. You need to have a bit of hope in people. Be willing to be a little open, a little vulnerable even. And you got to remember that people are naturally drawn to what's real. It's just so much easier to trust something authentic than something that feels fake or hidden.
So how do we put that philosophy to work online? Well, the book gives us 5 super clear, totally actionable steps to do just that. First up, be reachable. Don't make people dig for your contact info. Second, show your proof. Use real testimonials from real people. We can all spot the fake ones a mile away. Third, be personable. A blog is perfect for this. It lets your actual personality come through. Fourth, be seen. Seriously, put a photo of yourself up. It creates an instant human connection. And last, be relevant. If you're running ads, just make sure they actually make sense with your content instead of just adding to the noise. Let's move on to principle number 3, which is all about the energy you're putting out there. It's simple. Happy, grateful people are just naturally magnetic. And the book uses this brilliant analogy about a simple can of beans to show us how to get there. See, we tend to only see the finished product, right? The can of beans sitting on the supermarket shelf. But we're totally oblivious to this huge, complex chain of human effort that got it there. From the farmer who planted the seed, to the driver who brought it to the store, to the person who stocked the shelf. Seeing those hidden chains, that's the first step to real gratitude. And to make this a real practice, the book suggests building what it calls appreciation strings. First, just train your awareness. Start noticing the things you're thankful for. Then, train your wonder. Get curious about those things. Then, train retention. Actively remember to be thankful. And finally, link those strings together. Let the gratitude you feel in one part of your life spill over and energize another. Okay, this brings us to our fourth and final principle, and this is where we really tie everything together.
It's the golden rule of online communication. You have to craft your digital autobiography by showing, not telling.
Think about it. Your online profile, on social media, on your website, wherever, it's your big chance to stand out. But what does almost everyone do? They fall into the same old trap. They just list a bunch of generic adjectives and blend right into what the book calls a void of averageness.
And here's the difference right here. Telling is saying, I'm adventurous. So what? Is boring. Nobody will remember it. Showing, on the other hand, is telling a weird, specific, funny little story that proves you're adventurous. I mean, which one is more magnetic? Which one makes you want to know more? It's not even a contest.
So to wrap this all up, here are just a few last practical tips. Use good photos that show you in your element looking natural. Leave a little mystery in your stories. Give people a reason to ask you a question. When you reach out to people, keep it short and simple. And always, always remember, the whole point of all of this is to make a real human connection.
So I want you to start thinking of your entire online presence as an autobiography that you're writing one post at a time. And the only question you really need to ask yourself is this: what story are you telling?